I don't have a whole lot today. I mean, we got the brackets this morning, so the focus becomes the first match. Um, Seeds are the seeds. I mean, once they set the bracket, then the bracket's set. So me wasting time and energy complaining about that doesn't help a whole lot. Even though I'm not overly happy with some of the stuff, but again, I ask our guys to own what they can control, so I got to do the same. Um, Other than that, I think we had a good week of practice. We got 10 guys ready to go on Friday morning, and we'll be ready to score a whole bunch of points. So, I don't have anything other than that.
How much do you use the success you guys had last year going into this year to help motivate the team?
They felt what it was like to have momentum and to feed off each other. Um, and I brought that up. I said we had a ton of success there last year. We had 3 champs. And we've consistently had guys in the finals, and we've done well at that tournament. That doesn't change, but you can't look past anything other than the first match. I know everyone's like that. Coach speak a little bit, but I have no idea who's gonna be the next guy that you're gonna have to wrestle. That match is, they're gonna dictate that. But yeah, certainly I feel like we had a chance to win that tournament. We're within, probably a position of winning the tournament. Yeah, I mean, you definitely use that. But also wanted to remind them, how did we get there? We battled through everything, and we had some guys. So a guy like Farber, he lost the first round, right? And then he came back and got third. You have to have things like that happen. We have to have everyone place. You have everyone place and score points, and you have a chance to win the tournament. Obviously, we have 10 champs. We're winning that tournament. I mean, it makes it pretty clear. Again, seeds and AQ spots and all those things. The great thing with the Big 12s is, there's not a single guy, not every guy has to win the tournament to be able to go to the national tournament. Every spot has at least 4, 5. And you start getting some that have more. So to me, it's being ready from the first whistle, wrestling through things, wrestling through every position, make them earn every single thing, man. Because when matches get tight and they get tighter longer, stress can play some funny games. Pressure can play some funny games on guys. And honestly, we have no pressure on us. I mean, that's how I look at it. We just have opportunity. And I think when you look at it just as opportunity in front of you and you go to make the most of it, we don't have the number 1 seed. So we don't have anyone that's supposed to win the tournament on paper. So to me, that's an advantage. It's not a disadvantage. Even for the 1 seed, then you know what? We still find a way to make kind of ourselves the underdog, in a way. Obviously, there's a couple pretty good teams. Okie State's got a good team. I think all their guys are seeded in the top 3, so they should run away with the tournament, right? On paper. But the good thing is we have a whole lot to say about that. So, yeah, I've definitely brought that up. Past history, and that we've had some really good history there. And we plan on having a hell of a lot more good history there this weekend.
They're saying something about, you look at it, you've qualified for a spot. You can go earn something.
Mm-hmm.
But, you have to earn the qualifying spot too. But now this is a chance, like you said, opportunities. This is a chance for your 10 guys, the 6 guys that haven't automatically qualified.
Yeah.
They can go earn something, and that means a little something.
Yeah, well, I think a few of those guys that maybe didn't earn one have earned one. You know what I'm saying? With how they've wrestled. I mean, they've beat some really good guys. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to go steal a spot, right? I would certainly rather keep it in our hands. And the great thing is it's in our hands. And even if you happen to stumble and get beaten a match, you still have a backside to wrestle through. So each guy's going to have multiple opportunities to be able to punch their ticket. Remember, this is a qualifier. We're trying to qualify for the national tournament and then to go win the national tournament. And you try not to get the steps ahead of themselves. I always say, every year I like the system because if something does happen and you've done your job throughout the whole year, you're going to go to the national tournament still, which that's the way it should be. They're trying to put some emphasis on the season and not just the end of the year. So, but there's not a single guy that didn't qualify a spot that hasn't shown they're capable or haven't beat a guy that's already in front of them. I mean, Trevor, I mean, I honestly, I still don't know how the hell he didn't qualify a spot. I mean, I'm looking at it like he must be the first one out. Um, you know, but I can tell you this, that there's some guys, and I'll go with Ratchie, I'll go with Ron, go with John and Adam, um, and Brady. I can't think of a guy that's like, man, that's who I hope I match up with. Man, I hope I match up with that guy first round. There's not a guy that's hoping that any of those guys that's their first round matchup, and that's a good thing for us, right? Because when someone's not looking forward to wrestling you, I think you can have an edge, and then you have an edge, and then again, 420 seconds. If it takes a few more, we'll wrestle beyond that. But you know what? We sent 10 last year. I plan on sending 10 again this year, and every guy is capable of doing that.
This is for probably all teams, same thing, but what's it like, you know, you've been now in Tulsa for, I can't remember how many years.
Yeah, way too many.
But, you know where you're going, you kind of like just, what you need to do to prepare to be at your best. Is it that going to the same spot help with that, or?
I just familiarity, right? I mean, we know the hotel we're staying in. We know the 3 block walk over. You can walk back and forth. I can tell you, I like, from a coaching standpoint, I love that guys can walk back and forth. Just if they want to get out of the arena, they can get out of the arena. Because sometimes when you have to drive and it's 15, 20 minutes, we ran into that in Philadelphia last year. And you end up in a car for 45 minutes, an hour after the session. You're like, I mean, it's not very ideal. But I think just familiarity, I think, probably gets you more comfortable. I'm not sure what locker room will be in. They move every year, but we know the arena, we know the layout, we know the setup. So I just think, again, it's like being at home. I've been here before. I know the layout, and I'm not surprised by anything. And I don't think we get surprised by anything anyway. We're pretty prepared for everything that might come our way. Again, those 10 guys, man, what an opportunity for those guys. An opportunity up and down the lineup. For us to have an incredible tournament and build momentum. I thought like Wisconsin, I thought up and down the lineup, we scrapped tooth and nail for everything. And that's the way it has to be in the conference tournament too. I think Friday, Saturday, so they moved it up a day. Semis Friday night, Saturday night for the boys for winning titles. Yeah. We did have one state champ from our recruiting class, Declan Koch. He won a state title over in Wisconsin, and then unfortunately Cooper Reeves had an injury, and he wasn't able to wrestle in the Kansas State tournament. But he's getting healed up now, and he'll be back soon. But man, proud of our seniors that are coming in and the success that they've had, and finish with state titles. I mean, it's something that all those guys want to do. I told them the toughest SOBs in the world don't win a state title till they're a senior. I didn't win one till I was a senior. I got second twice, which sucked. But those guys that are willing to persevere, keep coming back, and you know what, and ultimately then it's on to the next thing. But man, it's certainly the way they want to cap off their high school careers, and so proud of those guys and how they're representing, their school, their families, and then ultimately to me, the UNI wrestling program. So, all right, go Panthers.